Systems theory in sociology. Systems theory in sociology is one of the most interesting and powerful ways to understand how society functions as a whole. It helps us see that society is not just a collection of people living together but a living and dynamic system made up of different parts that work together. Just like the human body has organs such as the heart, lungs, and brain that each have a special role but depend on each other for survival, society too has institutions like family, education, economy, religion, and government that interact and depend on one another. Systems theory tries to explain how these parts are connected, how they work together to keep society stable, and what happens when one part fails to do its job. The basic idea of systems theory in sociology comes from biology and engineering, where scientists studied how living organisms and machines function as systems. Later, sociologists like Talcott Parsons and Nicholas Luhmann applied these ideas to social life. They suggested that society should be seen as a complex system made up of smaller systems that are interdependent. For example, the education system prepares people for jobs, the economic system provides resources for families, the family system raises and nurtures children, and the political system makes decisions and maintains order. Each system has its own functions, but they all depend on each other to keep society working properly. Talcott Parsons was one of the most famous sociologists who developed the social systems theory. He said that every society needs to perform 4 essential functions to survive, known as the AGIL model. These letters stand for adaptation, goal attainment, integration, and latency. Adaptation means that a society must adapt to its environment and use resources effectively, which is usually done through the economy. Goal attainment means that society must set and achieve collective goals, which is managed through the political system. Integration means that all parts of society must work together in harmony, which is supported by laws, traditions, and shared values. Latency refers to maintaining motivation and cultural patterns, which is mainly handled by institutions such as family, education, and religion. According to Parsons, if any of these functions fail, society faces instability or collapse. Nicholas Luhmann later expanded systems theory and introduced a more modern view. He believed that society is made up of many communication systems rather than individuals. In his view, communication is the key to understanding how society operates. For example, when people exchange information in the media, schools, or government, they are actually maintaining the social system. Luhmann said that society cannot be understood only by looking at individuals but by examining how communication links people, groups, and institutions. His approach focused on how systems communicate with each other and maintain boundaries. For instance, the legal system communicates differently from the education system or the economic system, but they still influence one another. Systems theory helps us understand that every part of society has a role, and problems arise when one part stops functioning properly. For example, if the education system fails to teach necessary skills, the economy will face a shortage of skilled workers, leading to unemployment and social tension. Similarly, if the family system weakens, children may lack emotional support and values, which can lead to crime and instability in the future. Therefore, maintaining balance between different parts of society is crucial for stability. This idea is called equilibrium. A healthy society constantly tries to return to equilibrium whenever a disturbance occurs. Another key idea in systems theory is feedback. Feedback means the information that a system receives about its performance, which helps it make adjustments. For example, in the political system, elections act as feedback because they show whether people are satisfied with their leaders. If not, new leaders are chosen, and the system adjusts. In education, feedback may come from student results or public opinion. If many students fail, the education system might reform its methods. Feedback keeps the social system flexible and helps it survive in a changing world. Systems theory also helps explain how societies change over time. No society remains static. New technologies, cultural values, and global interactions constantly reshape systems. When one part of the system changes, it affects others. For example, the invention of the internet transformed not only communication but also education, business, and even politics. Social media has changed how people express opinions, organize movements, and interact. Systems theory helps us trace these changes and understand how societies adapt to new challenges. In simple terms, systems theory tells us that no part of society works in isolation. A problem in one area affects the entire system. For instance, when the economy faces a crisis, it affects families, education, healthcare, and even mental health. Similarly, improvements in one area, like technology, can benefit multiple systems by increasing efficiency and connection. This interdependence is what makes society both complex and fascinating. One of the strengths of systems theory is that it provides a big picture. It allows us to see patterns instead of focusing on single events. For example, if crime rates rise, instead of blaming only individuals, we can look at how different systems might be contributing to the problem. Maybe the education system is not providing opportunities, the economy is struggling, or the family system is under stress. This broader view helps in creating long-term and effective solutions. However, systems theory is not without criticism. Some sociologists argue that it focuses too much on stability and harmony and ignores conflict, inequality, and power struggles. They say that real societies often have competing interests, and systems do not always work smoothly together. For instance, the rich and poor may not benefit equally from the same systems. Despite this criticism, systems theory remains an important framework because it helps us understand the structure and functioning of society in a clear and organized way. In the modern world, systems theory is becoming more relevant than ever. With globalization, communication technology, and environmental issues, the world functions like one large interconnected system. What happens in one country can affect many others. For example, a financial crisis, a pandemic, or climate change can have global effects because all nations are part of a connected system. Understanding how systems interact helps us make better policies, promote cooperation, and prevent collapse. To sum up, systems theory in sociology teaches us that society is a complex network of parts working together. Each institution, from family to government, plays a vital role in maintaining balance. Changes in one part influence the whole system. By studying society as a system, we can better understand its strengths, weaknesses, and ways to improve it. It is like studying the body of humanity itself. Every organ, every function, and every connection matters for its survival. If you found this explanation useful and easy to understand, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support encourages us to create more educational content that makes sociology simple and engaging for everyone.